Hello everyone, thank you so much for stopping by to watch this video. I will be showing you how to do the Irish knitting technique in this tutorial, which is quite easy to do but requires a lot of patience. I'm using a carton box covered with fabric to lay motifs on. You can also use polystyrene if you like. I am using a non-woven interfacing fabric, which is commonly used in garments to make them more stable. For instance, in collars or pockets, where it is used as an additional layer just to help add structure, shape, or firmness. And these are the motifs I will be using for this project. You'll need a lot of pins, a pair of scissors, a sewing needle, and a tape measure for taking your measurements. While placing your motifs, I'd suggest you start from the center of your project towards the outer parts. This gives you a clear pattern or clear pattern placement for your motifs. So I started off with a flower with leaves around it. Then these spiral motifs, you can use them as single pieces or join them to form a beautiful motif like so. Finally, this is what I came up with after placing the motifs. For me, this looks presentable, and the reason as to why you are starting with the right side up is to give you a clear vision of what your project will look like towards the end. So now that you're done, you are going to flip them over so that you have the wrong side up. And make sure they are in the same position as you had placed while they were with the right side up. So just turn them over just like that. And do the same for the rest of the motifs. Get your sewing needle. For this knitting, I am using a medium weight acrylic yarn. It is a 4-ply yarn and it's quite thin, which makes it perfect for netting. Grab your yarn and thread your needle. It doesn't have to be too long. Once you have a very long thread on your needle, then it's going to tangle, and we do not want that. So make sure you have just the right amount of yarn. I will start from the bottom, going towards the top, or you can begin anywhere you like. It really doesn't matter. And we are going to work in a zigzag motion along these spaces. Zigzag motion along the spaces. And this will be my starting point. And I'll show you where the needle will go through. So this is the reverse stitch you use to finish off the motifs, and we are going to insert our needle in these bumps. Insert your sewing needle in these bumps at the back of your motifs. So let's begin. Insert your needle in your starting point, pull the yarn and fasten off at least twice. And for this strand, we will weave in later. And then join your yarn to the next motif, keeping in mind we are working in a zigzag motion. And then we are going to fill in 3 times. So bring your yarn to the other side, and you have 2 strands. Insert your needle will go under these 2 strands, and you will fill in 3 times. This is the second time and the third time. Join to the next motif. Your needle has to go under the strand, and then gently pull to make it firm. And then your needle has to go under the 2 strands. Fill in 3 times. And then join to the second motif. Remember, the sewing needle has to go under the yarn. And gently pull, and then under the 2 strands of yarn, and fill in 3 times. Join to the first motif with the needle going under the yarn. And fill in 3 times. Be sure to gently pull on the yarn to make it firm. So join to the closest motif to you. You can either go towards the other side, left or right side, whichever you prefer, as long as it is in a zigzag motion. Adjust your board. You need a lot of pins for this project. Just to make sure the motifs are firmly pinned to your board. In a small space like this one, you will be required to fill in just twice. 2 times is just fine. You'll notice there's actually a lot of movement with the board as well as the yarn. Since we have a small space here, we're going to fill in 2 times. Remember to fill in 2 times in the small spaces. For these motifs that are closely placed, there isn't much space to do the netting, so you will just join them by stitching the ends together. Stitch both ends for the motifs that are closely placed. And once you're done, you're just going to fasten off the yarn. Two or three times is just fine. Cut off the yarn and you are going to weave in the loose strands later on. You are going to reattach your yarn at this point where you had previously connected the two motifs. Fasten off 2 times. So do that and continue with your knitting process. You might come across bigger spaces like these ones, and that makes it difficult to do the knitting. Don't sweat. Just take a smaller motif like this one. This is a button, and place it there, which makes it easy to do the netting. So always have smaller motifs, and that saves you a lot of time while doing the netting. So keep on netting, and thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. I hope it will be helpful to you, and see you in the next one.